Hello everyone, thank you for checking out today's video. In this one we're going to be covering how you're able to earn your associate's degree while serving in the Air Force Reserve. In addition to that, I'll also be talking about how this DSSTs and CLEPs work in the Air Force. I'll also talk about how you can transfer your civilian credits over to the Air Force to get your CCAF degree a little bit quicker. In addition to that, we'll also be talking about some of the different degrees that you can get through CCAF. So let's jump into it. So right now we're on the Air Force's promotional page for some of the different educational opportunities that are in the Air Force, like ROTC and the Air Force Academy. So I'll link to this in the description if you guys want to check it out. There's a lot of great information on here. But if we scroll down to the bottom, this is the Air Force's description of what the Community College of the Air Force is. The Community College of the Air Force is the only degree granting institution of higher learning dedicated exclusively to enlisted personnel. It gives enlisted airmen the opportunity to earn a 2-year associate in applied science degree that pertains to your Air Force career, and that degree is accredited. So you can use this degree to then apply to a school to try to get your bachelor's degree or to go from your bachelor's to get your master's. So this is an accredited degree that you can use when you're applying for jobs. And hopefully you're able to find a school that takes a lot of your credits from the Air Force, so it doesn't cost you as much money or take you as much time to get your next level of or your next degree. So from here, let's go ahead and talk about some of the different degrees that you can earn. So based on your career field, you're going to have a different degree that you may be able to earn if you get all the credits for it. So this one right here for information management, this is the second CCAF degree that I got. So the first one I got was in, actually we'll go to that one first. So 3E2, that was for pavements and construction equipment. So that degree was in construction technology. And this just talks about some of the different requirements to get that degree. So what you need to fulfill credit-wise to be able to earn that degree. And then I'll show you guys part of my transcript here in a second, so you can kind of see some of the different requirements and how I was able to meet those requirements for those different classes. So let's go over to 3. You just put in, I'll link to this too if you guys want to put it in. It's from like a year ago, but most of these degrees should still be the same. So on here, this is the one that I got for admin. So you can earn more than one CCAF. The caveat to that is that you may have to bring in some new credits because you may not be able to reuse some of them. So like, for example, the LMMS right here, the Leadership Management and Military Studies, I was not able to reuse the ones that I had from my initial degree. So I had to CLEP and DSST those remaining credits, and I'll talk about those in a moment. But let's go ahead and jump over to part of my transcript. So when you want to transfer over these credits, you have a few different ways that you can do it. So when you first join the Air Force and you go to BMT, you're enrolled in your CCAF, you actually earn college credits while you're in basic training. So some of those credits will go towards your CCAF. After that, you go to tech school. Same thing, you'll need your tech school. So down here, you see at the bottom where it says Keesler. That was when I went to tech school for admin, and those are the credits that I needed to fulfill these requirements for my CCAF. So once you finish up your tech school, then those degrees will transfer over. And same thing once you get your 5 level. So once you get your journeyman and your craftsman, those credits will transfer over as well. So those count towards college credits. Same thing if you have CDCs, career development courses. Usually that's part of your requirement to get your 5 level and or 7 level. So those will also go towards your college credits for your CCAF. And some schools may take these. You have to check and see what degree or what credits the school will take from your CCAF, and you may have some credits that aren't even on your transcript here that you may be able to transfer over as well. So some of these other ones that you see, like I got from a community college that I went to years ago when I was getting my bachelor's, I was able to move over some of those credits. And this is from Airmen Leadership School. So when you are an E4 or a senior airman, you want to promote to staff sergeant, you have to go to ALS. And ALS stands for Airmen Leadership School. And you could do that either in person, you could do it online virtually, or you can do it asynchronously. And once you're done with that, you'll get the credits for it as well. And that pretty much covers this one here. So I had a few credits, like I mentioned, where I had to essentially retake the classes because I wasn't able to reuse the ones for my initial degree. So that's where these came in, DSSTs and CLEPs. And I don't know what they stand for, but let's see. DSST. Doesn't even say what the acronym is. DANTES, Subject Standardized Tests. And then CLEP, I don't know what that stands for either. What does CLEP? College level examination program. Okay. But essentially what they are is they are these tests that you'll take. And then if you pass the tests, you are given the credits. So when you enroll in your CLEPs or your DSSTs, you don't really even enroll in them per se. What you do is you just schedule a time either at your base, or some of these you can do online, and you take the test. And if you pass the test, it is free to take these tests the first time. If you pass them, you get the credits. If not, you want to retake them, then you are forced to pay for it. So the ones that I ended up taking to fulfill my credits for LMMS, I took the Principles of Supervision, because you see it as a really high pass rate. So this is the one that usually people that will usually do if they're not able to transfer over something from their civilian side. They'll take this one, Principles of Supervision. And then I took this one after, because they ended up not using one of my civilian credits. So I had 3 credits left, and I just kind of had to cram studying in for this test in like 2 or 3 weeks. But you see, this one has a pretty low pass rate. Only 34% of people in the military who take this test. I don't think this is everybody. I think these pass rates are just exclusive to people in the military. But this one has a 65% pass rate for Principles of Supervision, which is really high. That's probably one of the easiest ones for the LMMS. This one was a little bit more challenging. However, if you do need them, they do play off each other. So you probably want to start with this one. And then if you pass it, hopefully you do, you move on immediately to Principles of Management, because a lot of the information is the same, and you'll save yourself some time and potentially money, because you need to get resources. So when it comes to resources for DSSTs, you can either go rent a book, you can use AI, so you can use like ChatGPT or Grok or some other AI tool, and you can ask it to provide you study resources, so you can prompt it however you want. If you want flashcards, if you want practice tests, whatever is your preferred method of learning, you can use that. And yeah, once you get those, then you go and you take the tests. And the passing score is weighted. It's not a normal, there is a percentage that you need to get in order to pass these tests. Usually it's somewhere around a D, like 60 to 65%. Some may be higher, but the scores are kind of confusing. So if you take this test and say you get a 405 on Principles of Supervision, you're like, oh, that was a tough test. I wonder what I got. If you go on ChatGPT and just put in what was my grade if I got a 405 on the Principles of Supervision, it'll go through how they calculate that score and give you a rough idea of what you got. Same thing for this one, for Principles of Management. Now, when you take these tests, you can take them either locally at your base. For us, American University facilitates these tests. So you just have to schedule a time, you come in and you take the test in person. However, with this CLEP, excuse me, it gave me the option to take it online or in person. So I decided to take it online, which was the most irritating thing I've ever done, because WGU is online. So you take the test at home, but it wasn't anywhere near how bad you have to use I can't remember the name of the company, but they were really hard to work with. You use this software, and then it goes through and it checks your computer, and then you have to end all these different background processes on your computer, and then the program keeps crashing, and then eventually you get a person who comes on, and then they're very strict about your work area. It was just a whole thing. So keep that in mind if you guys get the option of taking it in person or at home. The one at home may seem like it's more convenient, but then also you get the added stress knowing that someone's watching you the entire time. And then it didn't happen on this test, but I've had tests previously where you'll have a family member knock on your door or come and talk to you, and then the person who's facilitating the test gets very upset, and then you have to show them your whole room, and it throws off your whole flow. So just keep that in mind, guys. But once you take these tests, usually it's very quick. Usually within a few weeks, it'll move those credits over to your transcript. And mine transferred over, this one within a week. This one took about 2 or 3 weeks. And then once you go over to your transcript, you'll see those classes were fulfilled. And then once you have all of your credits for your degree, what you'll do is you'll reach out to your local education office, and what they'll do is they'll submit you as a degree candidate to CCAF. And once they do that, if they approve you, then you will be good to go. And then they'll send out your degree. Now, the catch to this is that your diploma, they send them out in April and I believe October. So if you're caught on the middle of that, you'll have to wait a while. And then even when they send them out, it takes a long time. And then it's a mess, guys. It's not very organized, to be honest with you. But these aren't accredited degrees. So, I mean, you're already in the Air Force anyway, might as well get it. Like I said, I was able to get two. Hopefully you guys are able to get them while you're in as well, because, for example, if you want to promote to an E8 or a senior master sergeant one day, one of the requirements is you have to have either your associate's degree and or CCAF. So just if you decide not to get any civilian degrees or anything like that, at least you'll have your CCAF and you won't put a ceiling on yourself being able to promote. But that pretty much covers it. I think I hit everything. I don't know if I'm going to provide this to you guys because this is exclusive to Nellis Air Force Base, and there's a lot of contact information for Nellis Air Force Base stuff on here, so it's not relevant to most of you. But if you just look online, there's a bunch of classes, and it'll show you which classes are relevant. And also, once you guys are able to join the Air Force, you'll use your AFBEC, Air Force Virtual Education Center, and that's where you are able to submit requests like for tuition assistance. You can do remember what it's called, but you could submit inquiries into stuff like your transcript, and you can track your transcript on there. You can submit for Air Force Cool on there. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. So that's kind of like your one-stop shop for everything education related in the Air Force. And that pretty much does it, guys. If you have any other questions or anything I missed, please let me know. Put those comments in the description or the comments. Put your questions in the comments. I know words, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I will be continuing to put out these videos, and hopefully you guys find them helpful. Thank you guys for checking out this one. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving this video a like, and I'll catch you all in the next video very soon.